So think about innovation. There's been a lot of change and innovation in the DJ industry.
Yeah.
Just going from cassettes to CDs was huge in terms of your ability.
I am not.
Or even,
you are so much younger than I am.
Okay, well, going from vinyl, yeah, because cassettes were never really conducive to DJing. They never were.
No, I mean, we thought they were going to be, because you could get, you could put one song on each side, or you could put sets together, or whatever it was.
Pre-recorded.
And if you're talking about me, I mean, the first innovation was going from those wax cylinders.
Oh, whatever. Yeah, now this is you pretending you're as ancient as Methuselah.
Well, I mean, I was doing albums in 45.
Yeah,
going and humping
vinyl
around I should have almost had an extra car just to bring around the records in 45s. So when it went to cassettes and I could put sets together, that was cool and an interesting innovation. Even though I didn't stop bringing all the albums, I just brought cassettes along.
I didn't really do much with vinyl. I did at the radio station. My very first radio job, I got to spin vinyl 45s and vinyl albums, and we had carts. It was like almost an all analog kind of environment, which is really cool that I got to be on the tail end of that before CDs and the computers changed everything. And so more recently, with the whole computers revolutionizing everything with DJing, is that I had always wanted to do visual storytelling. I wanted to do storytelling with pictures and visuals, but I never had trying to use PowerPoint and put together different technologies was always super clunky, and I would require a team of people to be able to do it and look good. So it wasn't with what I could charge. I wouldn't be able to get somebody to pay for it. And then finally, Tricerasoft came out with their Swift Elite, which was which originally was for karaoke hosts, but I know a lot of people DJ with it as well. Scott Favor's a big advocate of DJing with it, and it enabled me to really do all of the multimedia stuff that I wanted to do by myself. I mean, I have an assistant, but actually there's enough built into it that it can make transitions and do all that kind of stuff, so many things by itself. So that innovation right there changed the whole game for me in terms of doing a really creative visual storytelling at an event. Right.
And mine was the microphone. So I didn't have to yell anymore.
Hello, welcome to the show.
But yet you miss the megaphone masks that you used to have.
I really do miss my big megaphone mask that put on my shoulders. And it really covered everything, and I could speak any ramp. When the band was playing, I could walk right up their lamp. No, something. Everything was. I didn't expect that vinyl would ever go away. So cassettes didn't really work out. And then CDs came, and I went, no one's going to pay $30 a CD. So we're never going to go to CDs. And then, in the 90s, when everybody was doing CDs, I was still bringing my 45s and albums around. So I made an initial a huge investment to be the last DJ on earth to go to CDs. And then when it went digital, I was the first one to say, give me a computer. I don't want to look like an idiot again.
Right. To slowly drag you into the being drugged into the future, basically.
Right. And apparently, the newest innovation that I need to get myself around is this whole video thing, because for some reason I look like I'm in some sort of a Japanese kung fu movie with the interview with you. I don't know what's going on, but I am lagging way behind you. At least with the video.
Yeah, the beauty of technology. Welcome to the Bill and Jason Show. I'm Jason Jones. This is Bill Hermann. And the reason we're talking about innovation is a few weeks ago we had the great privilege to be able to talk to a fantastic guest about innovation, who's going to be a presenter at the upcoming DJ show. Unfortunately, because sometimes when you upgrade your operating system and the other applications you have don't quite go along with it. And so innovation there. So that's my story. That's the technology breakdown. Anyway, so we had some issues with that particular program, but still have a lot of really good segments that we wanted to cut together and share with you here on the Bill and Jason Show.
And this guy is going to be at Mobile Beat Las Vegas on the very first day. He's the first speaker on the first day. Get in your seats by 1 o'clock because you're not going to want to miss this guy. What we found out about him, and one of the reasons he's such an interesting interview and such a great guy to have at the conference, is that he's the CEO of the Consumer Electronics Association, and president and CEO of the Consumer Electronics Association. He's an author, best-selling author. The book was called The Comeback: How Innovation Will Restore an American Dream. And he's got a new book coming out, which is called Ninja Innovation, which I'm sure will be available to everybody who comes to the show. He writes regularly for the Huffington Post, for Forbes magazine. I mean, this guy's a big deal. And he's the producer of the Consumer Electronics Show, which is the largest electronics show on the planet. And it happens in Las Vegas just before our conference. So I was very excited to meet this guy, and his name is Gary Shapiro. And I think you're going to get a lot out of the interview we did.
And what does this have to do with being a mobile DJ? Well, really everything. I mean, innovation, things have changed. We already just talked about a few things in our industry that have changed for us for the better, and it's also in creating challenges. But the rate at which we need to reinvent ourselves to be competitive has never been as dramatic and quick as it has been before. So this guy is going to have a lot to say that it's really going to change the way you approach your business.
And for as many people in this business that don't innovate, if you find a way to innovate, you're going to explode past your competition. You're going to love this interview. You're going to like it even more when you get a chance to meet him in Las Vegas.
So we begin with the first question, which was really asking him like how innovation has really affected his life or changed his life. Here's Gary Shapiro.
You know, what got me going was when the VCR was introduced. I felt unchanged from the movie theaters. And then I'm one of the few males that really isn't good at directions and knows it. And the navigational products really made a difference in my life. I used to drive around for hours, lost and frustrated and angry and late. And now that rarely happens. You know, now I drive around and know where I'm going. I can't find a parking space, but I do get to where I'm going, and I get close.
Oh, that says a ton about your character that you will admit that on our program in front of all 20 of our listeners.
Well, you know, it still is tough for me to actually ask people for directions.
Okay.
Out of desperation. No, and there's other great products out there. Obviously, the whole smartphone thing. You know, playing with Siri and just asking questions you don't know. I must have done like 5 or 6 times this weekend. I had a question and in discussion and got the answer within 3 seconds from my smartphone. So those things are pretty exciting to me.
Well, and you are around these people whose lives are innovating things every day. The word innovation has become part of your everyday language. And when there are people in other industries, and our industry being the DJ industry, people are using that word all the time. But oftentimes I hear from them things like, well, but I want to be innovative, but I mean, are there steps that I take, or how do I go about doing that, or how am I inspired? How would you speak to a question like that?
I give career advice to people, and the answer I would give in that case is that a lot of people think they get ahead of the job, and by focusing only on their job, and really you should focus outside your job and bring some things and get involved with some groups or some activities that are relevant to your job, or at least outwardly. Because what I think innovation is actually taking things that are unrelated and putting them together in a way which hasn't been done before and that will someone find useful. So we have 150 employees, and when I tell my employees, you know, go sit on your condo board, or, you know, get involved with sports or do something different. Just don't work here all the time. It doesn't make you that interesting as a person. Your work product probably isn't as good. And go out and think outside the box. Traveling abroad is another example of, you know, I wish every member of Congress would travel abroad and they'd see, you know, they'd be a little more appreciative. I wish union leaders would travel abroad and see how good we have it here. I mean, I just think you need a different perspective to do better at what you're doing and to be more innovative. And the other thing is that, and this goes to who we are as a country, you know, our diversity is very important. We get different perspectives that way. That makes us innovative. Even our educational system is as the way people speak about it is it being horrible, but the truth is it's really good at getting our kids to ask questions like why or why not. And we have this cultural sense that we have an ability to improve things, which is really important.
How do you feel about inspiration? And the reason I ask that is I heard an artist once quoted, not very long ago, in fact, where he said, innovation is for amateurs. The rest of us just show up to work every day. How do you feel about that statement, or how do you feel about inspiration to be able to move you forward in innovation?
Well, inspiration is important, and I think all of us are inspired by their favorite sports team or their kids' accomplishments or you know, going bowling or whatever it is they do. And you could tell when you ask some people questions, they light up when is really motivating them to do things. So they have to tie it into that. And people, a lot of innovators solve problems in that area of their lives, whether it's sports, technology, or doing something with their kids or anything else in their lives. That's what inspires people to come up with doing something better. But there is a certain amount of truth to the fact that, first of all, a lot of people are just trying to make ends meet and get through the day. They're working 2 jobs, they're struggling. They're just trying to keep their life together, especially when they have kids or other people are taking care of or relying on them. So it is difficult to think about innovation. But what I like about our nation is that we're an innovative nation by our culture, our can-do society, our ability to even reward people. Everyone talks about, oh my gosh, the country's trouble because there's a lot of really rich people. Well, there's, in my world, in my view of the world, there's 2 types of rich people: those that inherited their wealth, and those that, created something like Bill Gates or Steve Jobs or Mark Zuckerberg did, and they created something. A lot of people paid a lot of money for it. I mean, yeah, I'm jealous of them. That's not me. But on the other hand, they earned that, and that's what makes us all better, and they've improved all our lives. That's a good thing. So it's our culture, it's our laws, it's what we do, but we could always be better at it. So, but personally, and then how do you get yourself inspired? Go find a problem and solve it, and that's how you get rich. What I try to talk about is to be a ninja, and that is to solve a problem that you see in a creative way. Try new things out. Be willing to fail and learn from it. And that's part of what being a ninja is, and that's how you get inspired.
A lot of times, a person that either has a small business or even just gets an idea of something they think can solve a problem or make a difference and things like that. And then they go out to try to see if they can manifest that, and all the obstacles then start showing up, trying to find financing or collaborators or things like that. And what message would you have for someone who maybe has an idea but is feeling like they're a little too easy? Well, we could comfortably say with too easily stopped. I mean, who knows what too easily stopped is for a person as they're dealing with that. There's a lot of things that can stop a person from moving forward. So, what would you tell someone if they really wanted to push forward but feeling discouraged by what seems like odds against them?
Well, the problem is a lot of people are discouraged by those around them who don't view them that way, especially their relatives or their family. So it's difficult. You have to really believe in something yourself, but you also have to use your ears and listen. And I think there's a lot of people who have succeeded or willing to give their expertise. There's a lot of people willing to mentor or started businesses, and you can just bounce things off them, and they'll give you some ideas. One of the things we do at the show that I think is really valuable is we have something called a Eureka Park. We have over 300 startups, and you really have to be a startup, and it's subsidized. It's not expensive. It's like $1,000 to be there. But for 4 days, you get people who are like phenomenal experts in the world of consumer electronics and retailing and investing and distribution. And they come by and they immediately tell you what they think. I mean, they might just walk by, but a lot of them give feedback, and it's really good to take that feedback in and you have to have some type of filter because you can't listen to everybody.
Yeah.
And everyone's experience is unique, and you really do have to be, the way you make money is you zig when everyone else is zagging. So there's a little bit of that. You have to go the other way. But I've also seen people waste a lot of money and time foolishly when their idea was obviously terrible, at least in my view. And I just couldn't believe they went forward with it. And then they lose their life savings. So it's you got to really believe. You do have to do some market testing. What it used to be is that people would create these elaborate business plans, and then they'd go to market. And that's crazy. What you really have to do is have an idea, get some type of working prototype or model, and test it out, get feedback, and adjust, because you always will adjust. I mean, that's just the bottom line. You have to change. No one has ever had a business plan that's worked. They've had a business plan, and then they've redone it and redone it and redone it. I mean, that's just the way life is. You got to be flexible. And if you're flexible and you listen to your customers and your potential customers, then you have a very good chance of succeeding. Now,
I read on your bio that you only a few years ago, 10 years ago, you got remarried. So I'm assuming you had a wedding and you had a celebration probably afterwards. And being that a lot of the people who listen to our show and the people that are coming to the Mobile Beat Show are wedding and entertainment DJs, tell us, did you have entertainment at your wedding, and what did you think? Like? And did you, from your perspective, were you able to critique what you saw in an innovative, in a way to critique it towards more innovation?
Wow, I was wondering where this was going.
Yeah, what was your entertainment? Let's start with that.
You never asked me about my second wedding.
Well, or even your first. I mean, you wouldn't want to go there.
I find it so much easier in life to just tell the truth. No, I didn't get married in a Las Vegas quickie place. But I actually got married in Italy, and my wife did most of the heavy lifting because one of her languages is Italian, and we went over there, and it was like more of honey, whatever you want. And we definitely had live and non-live entertainment. We had live and DJ entertainment, and it was in a castle, and it was beautiful and romantic. And
Do you remember if the entertainment had any kind of an impact? I know it's 10 years ago, so I'll give you a little leeway here. But do you remember if the entertainment had any kind of an impact on you or your guests?
Mm-hmm. As far as a standout?
Well, you know, it was appropriate for the venue. Is the bottom line. I mean, I don't know what else to say. It was really idyllic and romantic and Italian. And we played it. We did the same thing with a videographer for capturing everything.
Oh,
when my wife ended up going, this guy did something in black and white, which was perfect. And he had the music that went with it, and it was great. And I remember thinking at the time how freaking expensive everything was.
That's wedding.
But now, as my wife always says, you don't remember the expense, you remember the results. And she believes that in entertainment and in jewelry. So.
Yeah, see that, and that right there, that's kind of what I was looking for.
Thinking about our industry, which is the mobile DJ, mobile entertainment industry, if you were a DJ and you were going to be kind of looking for ideas of ways to innovate, how would you go about it? I'm not necessarily asking you for like what the ideas are, but like how do you go about like what kind of questions do you ask yourself when you're looking to innovate in a business that you're in or in a line of work that you're in?
Well, what I rely on in my organization is I ask our salespeople what our customers are saying a lot, and I go visit with the customers a lot. I mean, that's the bottom line. If you ask people and you ask probing, open-ended questions of your customers, you may not like what you hear, but it'll make you better in the long term. So if I was in the business of being a mobile DJ, I would occasionally try something new, but I ask customers afterwards, I'd ask, what do you think? How could that have been better? What were you expecting? What if I tried this? What would you think? Or would you like, food appropriate to the music or lighting that's different that matches, or just try like 1,000 different things and see what sticks to distinguish yourself from others and I really believe you always have to have a competitive edge because most marketplaces of services are crowded. So you have to have what's called the USP, the unique selling proposition. Yeah. And you have to have EST after your name for something like best at something or the only that does something. And once you position yourself in the market, then you'll succeed more and more in that category. It has to be one that you can grow on and add to and do better and better. And if you look at anyone who's successful at anything, they've done something like that. They are the EST in their marketplace because they have the unique selling proposition, and they just grow and reputation builds from it.
Well, Gary, I cannot tell you how much we have appreciated this time with you, and I cannot wait to meet you in person when we're out there in February. At the end, I believe that's February 23rd through the 26th. So
it's going to be really exciting and hear what you have to share. You're really passionate and love your energy, and it's going to be really exciting to have you on the stage and getting everybody excited and motivated to go out there and change the whole industry.
Yeah, and I get to show you my whisk.
And I might bring my sandwich maker.
It's terrific, for me to come back and be with such a dynamic, exciting industry, and especially not to be in Las Vegas when I have the responsibility of running an event.
Right.
It's really exciting for me. I'm really looking forward to it, and I look forward to meeting both of you. Thanks for taking the time to interview me.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Broadcasting from high atop planet Earth at a rate of 96 kilobytes sampled per second over the interweb in an effort to stop glorifying being busy. This has been an entertainment experience production.